Ayo and myself, Shopper Martins, we have got Opayemi Emmanuel, who's the CEO and founder of Tribe Arc Limited, to talk about the importance of software to SMEs. Because why do it all by yourself with your own hands when you can have some software to help you along? Right? Opayemi, welcome.
Yeah, thank you. Nice to meet you guys, and thanks for having me here today.
All right, great having you on the show. By the way, people, join this conversation. We're already streaming live up on youtube.com/smooth 981 FM Lagos. You can leave your comments on the live stream using the live chat function. Say something and just type it out there. You can also send WhatsApp messages to 0809 440 or take things over to Twitter. We are at Smooth 981 FM. The hashtag is Business Hub 981.
All right, Akwebi, let's kickstart this conversation. Now, we know how important software is to everyone right now. Everybody's doing things with software in different sectors of the economy all over the world. And it's important to know how important is software to SMEs in Nigeria today?
Yeah, like I said, thanks for having me again, Hayo, and yeah. So it's very important, like very super important, right? Because number one, it's like the lifeblood of any business, right? It's
Mhm.
something you can leverage to scale your business. Um, the conversation in 2000 year 2000 was like what how do you leverage internet, and everybody was like internet is in town. How do you leverage internet to scale your business? But now we're talking about how do you really leverage software, because software, people also think that software is like something very big, like
Okay.
having a website, having, maybe automating the entire business. But your WhatsApp is software, right?
Mhm.
um Telegram is a software, Facebook is a software. So you can leverage any of these things to scale your business. And it's very important because, like I said, this is the fastest way to scale your business. As a matter of fact, if you're not leveraging software for your business, you're going to probably remain an SME. So the only way to get out of being an SME and moving to something, a growing business, moving from a very small micro business to a medium enterprise, is leveraging software for your business to improve it.
So, how would you, let's take a micro business right now, a
Yeah.
micro enterprise in the informal sector, an Akara seller, a vulcanizer. How would they be able to leverage and utilize software in order to improve their operations?
Yeah, nice question. So for an carousel, for example, they're like the very micro business, right?
Mm.
Can you imagine if, for example, when you maybe approach an carousel in your area, right? And the carousel says, for example, can you drop your phone number? And then when you drop that phone number, tomorrow morning you can just buzz you like 7 a.m. sending you an SMS saying Akara is ready, right?
Okay.
That would be awesome, right? Or maybe it tells you that um, if you can share this code to someone, for example, or share to your friend to buy a car with us, you get an extra ball or two extra balls, right? So you can actually leverage, an Akara seller can actually leverage software in the sense that you can do email marketing, you can collect, phone numbers of people. You can also, as an Akara seller, you can also increase your visibility. WhatsApp has made it so, like I said, WhatsApp is a software, right? It has
Mhm.
made it so easy that you can easily put your Akara balls or pictures on WhatsApp for business. As an Akara seller, you can actually register WhatsApp for business, and put your pictures there, and then people can know. So you can literally increase your visibility to other people in your vicinity, as an Akara seller, and that's you scaling your business. That's one way you can do it. And if organizer, for example, you can upsell as a organizer. That's very very low level business, but you can upsell. So when I drive to your organizing shop, for example, to pump my tire, you can upsell something to me. You can upsell maybe a tire pump, or you can upsell maybe what's it called, tube valves and all of that. Even the tire itself, you can be selling tires as a organizer. So as a medium or micro small business, you can actually leverage software like WhatsApp, like Facebook, and Instagram to increase your visibility, to increase your access to customer, then even reaching your customers directly, by prompting them with reminders. Like a barber shop, for example, is another medium scale enterprise or medium business. A barber shop can easily, when you approach a barber shop, you can have, maybe instead of having the physical paper catalog,
Okay.
right, of different hairstyles, you can have a screen just scrolling the different hairstyles, and
Mhm.
then you can easily say this is what I want, and that can take a whole lot more pictures and images than what a paper catalog can take, right?
Okay. Now, just to follow up on that question, Can is it possible for states and local governments to utilize software in data gathering to bring, the Acaracela, the vulcanizer, the barber, and so on, who are in that informal sector into the formal sector for the purpose of tax collection?
Definitely, definitely, they can actually do that. I'm still wondering why we don't have yellow pages in Nigeria. When you move to a new environment, especially around there, I don't know whether you know where you can buy akara around this place, right? But we've left that job to, for example, Google My Business to actually list for us all the business around our areas.
Mm.
But what if establishment can actually do a listing of all the barber shop, of all the akara sellers, of all the organizers, and so they are providing value to these businesses because by listing them on a public access page, customers can find them and patronize them. And as they are doing that, providing value to these small businesses, they are already gathering the data they need to do tax, to collect tax. Because once you've done this listing and you've now identified all the businesses around the area in the local government area, then you already know who is doing well, who is not doing well, who should I tax, who should I not tax. So you're already gathering data. So, but I think before you go into taxation, you should first provide value to these SMEs by doing more, like exposing them to more customers, giving them visibility and reach to more customers around their area.
Okay, now what we're gonna do is switch things over to the other side, right? And help us out here because as the tech as tech became the hot the hot the hot new career, we started hearing about things like some of these software roles. They were just being thrown around: front end developer, back end developer, full stack developer. What are they?
Okay.
Help us define them,
Yeah.
please.
So, of course, tech is the hot cake in town now.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody's making a lot of money doing tech, right? Even lawyers are becoming tech.
Everybody I
Everybody
know
wants
is
to learn
pivoting.
tech.
Everybody's a
Yeah.
tech bro, tech sis
Yeah,
now.
bro. Yeah. So, front end is simple, right? In a layman's term, front end role, a front end developer is simply someone who designs the aesthetics or the aesthetic appeal of a website or an application. It could be a
Okay.
mobile app, it could be a web app, it could be a desktop app. But what the users see in terms of the button, the colors, the layout, the arrangement, the look and feel, that's front end. The front end is in charge of that. Then the back end are the guys that has to do with the logic, the architecture, and then the APIs. So that's what you don't see, but controls everything that happens on the front end. So when you click a button, something happens. Maybe click a button, and then maybe when you click a play button, something is playing, a record is playing or something.
Okay.
It's the back end that actually controls that, that logic behind the button playing. So all of the logic behind the front end is done by the back end. So the back end guys are the ones doing the logic and architecture behind. Then the full stack is the guy that can do both the front end and the back end.
Oh,
The jack of both trades.
that's
Of
a
course,
premium
I'm
one.
master of both.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Okay, now you are a full stack developer.
Yes, I am.
Is it better to be a full stack developer or a front end or a back end developer? I mean, I'm pretty sure that there are pros
I know already.
and pros and cons
Full stack all the
of
way.
each.
Full stack
Can
everywhere.
you can you just let us know? I mean, the pros and
Okay,
cons.
yeah. So yeah, of course, it's eventually it's better to be a full stack because you are more in demand. Of course, you're going to be getting better pay, because the value you bring to the table is more as a full stack developer. But
Okay.
when you're starting out as a new entry to dev or a dev career, right? You want to specialize at first because it takes some time to actually be good at these different roles. So when you're coming into tech, you want to decide which of these areas suit you. Are you the guys that like visual? Are you more visual inclined? Like, do you like designs? Do you like colors? Do you like what you see? So if you are the type that like what you see and you want to play around with colors, then specialize in front end first, right? And then go with that. And once you've kind of done a deep dive in front end, then you can now venture into back end. They both are, they end very well. Both of them end very well. So you can specialize at first if you're coming in newly. But as time goes by, you need to be able to not depend on someone else most of the time for your backend. You can actually venture into knowing backend and be able to do both of them. So, like the pros, like I've said, at the beginning, it might become overwhelming to want to be a full stack at the beginning, the first 2 years of getting into tech career. So specialize, either go back end straight up or go front end straight up. Then when you're now maybe comfortable with the front end, then you can learn the back end. And of course, full stack will always earn much more money than the isolated
Yeah, you
roles.
can do
Yeah.
both. Why not?
Okay, just a quick question before we move on. Do front end and back end developers almost always transition to full stack developers eventually?
Not always.
Ah,
Not always. No, not always. So some just specialize, and that's all the way. So they just move from
mm,
that role to maybe a CTO role, a COO role, and then become a CEO or something. So they don't have to necessarily become, but it helps because by the time you become a CTO of a tech firm and you are a front end major, right? And you are talking to an entire dev team now that comprises of the front end, the back end, the PM, the software testers, and all that. You need to have an idea of what is happening on the back end. Otherwise, they
okay.
can start, harassing you with their back end.
Ah,
So you need to have
duly
an
noted.
idea.
Right now, you had talked about you had talked about dependence, and that's something I want to ask about from the business owner's point of view, right? Do they need to understand? Do business owners need to understand software development in order to be able to run their businesses better, or can they just leave all the dependence on the people who are the tech bros and
Yeah.
sisters?
So if this question was asked like 10 years ago, I
Mm,
would say not necessarily. Like,
mm,
no, you don't need to. Just leave it to the specialist. So, but in 2022 and 2023, especially 2023 and going forward, everybody needs to know, have an idea of software development. Because that's the future. We've just tilted from the age of information to the age of intelligence, right?
Mm,
So things are changing. So it's no longer the age of internet. It's now the age of what you can do with the internet. It's not just pulling out information, but prompting the internet to give you more information, right? So you need, as a business owner, you really need to know how coding works, how automation works, how artificial intelligence work, how robotics work, so that when you want to do something very simple, you don't have to really depend on. If you have an idea, for example, as a radio presenter, you want to just build a small app, maybe to capture contacts when people come into the studio to have a show like this, and they sort of exchange your contact details. I have an idea like that. You don't have to call someone. No, how do I do this? Just if you have an idea, if you have the knowledge of software development,
mm.
you can go to your laptop, click one or two buttons on Figma, spin up a prototype, and then share it with the developers. That way, your conversation is already like 50% done. But if
okay.
you don't have an idea, you don't know anything about software development, then you have to start from ground zero. So what I'm saying is that conversation, your speed of delivery, of scaling your business is
Mm,
easier when you know software development, because now in the age of software development, you can have smoother conversations with developers because you yourself, you know what is going on, right? You don't necessarily have to be the one coding, but you need to have that knowledge so that you can have better conversations with your guys, because eventually there's going to be there's going to be software everywhere, right? In medicine, it's already there right now.
mm.
Medicine, law. There is an app now in the UK, Do Not Pay, that is replacing all the lawyers, right? And when we get eventually, right, we will probably have an app that will be running shows like this.
Thank you.
You
Thank you,
just had to go
Karen.
there.
No.
No,
I've
no.
been watching all the AI presenters. I've just been watching them. Okay, they're coming. Once they learn humor, there's nothing for us to do.
They actually,
Game over.
they actually can actually, crack some jokes.
Mm,
Right now, I'm serious.
no.
Mm.
Fly off the cuff jokes. They're not there yet.
No, they're
Thank
not
you.
there yet right
Thank
now, but give
you.
it like 7 to 10 years. Right?
7 to 10
I'll
years.
have safely retired by then. Enjoy.
There's still a bit of time, I guess.
Yeah.
For us to get some, some of our, should I say, human everything in. But I don't think they're going to do it as well as we can.
They will do it
They
better.
will do it better
I
than
don't want to
us
agree. I don't
because
want
they
to
have all
agree.
the evil of like the past 100 years
Yeah.
that they are working with.
Yeah.
Mm.
You haven't seen this thing with all these different apps where people are now learning, or where the AI is learning from art that people have uploaded onto the
Yeah.
internet from how long ago, and they're the recreations and the original arts that it's coming up with. Amazing.
Mm.
Yeah. And
Mm.
also the fact that university students are now using Chat GPT to
Right, guys.
to write their exams. Like in Australia, they said that they had to go back to pen and paper because
They don't want that in the
they could not.
classroom.
It was not great. All right, we're gonna take a break, but when we come back, we'll be talking more. Make sure you send your WhatsApp messages into 0809 440 981 and go over to Twitter #BusinessHub981.
and tips for a
I
successful
don't want to be
business.
replaced.
Bruv, you're gonna be replaced, so be quick.
So at the end of the day,
Business Hub
will
on
everybody be
Smooth.
replaced?
No.
Stay
Everybody
tuned.
cannot be replaced. So the thing is that people who don't want to jump on the train will be replaced, and those who want to. So it's supposed to enhance just the way internet enhanced people, right? So people that don't want to jump on the internet trend when it came out, they're like, internet, we don't need it for business, why not? So they were replaced because the internet took over their business literally. But those guys who jumped on that trend,
This is
they
what
were
I'm
able to move with it. So it's helping their business scale and fly. I'm not necessarily replacing it. The same thing with artificial intelligence. So what you will do is, so for example, you're coming up with a script for probably take you 2 nights to think what's the script, what are the outlines, and all of that. ChatGPT can have them and ask it, I need a script in this vibe with this, outline, and in seconds it will speed up. Yeah, Shopify. Sorry, I didn't get the best one.
It's alright, it's alright.
International Airport. Join the ones who know to fly South African Airways, the airline that's earned your trust and gives priority to your comfort.
Alright, so
Contact us
we're
today
going, but
on
I've
0127
I've been-
02
what's the word?
125.
I've
Or
been
speak to your nearest
fighting,
IATA
not
travel
fighting against it,
agency.
but just not
Get more
willing
information
to
on our new app.
accept.
on
just learn new stuff. There are
www.flysafaafrican.co.za.
lots of new stuff that I've had to learn.
That's
You
taking.
have to.
Fly
Yeah,
South
but you have
African
to. You have to.
Airways.
One secret about
Funny enough,
smart
I think that
business
would be
owners,
fantastic.
they seek out smart solutions that help
It
them
just
deliver
enhances your
prompt
work,
quality
makes your work
service to their
faster, and
customers. Smart
you can do more.
solutions like the Airtel Smart
I do
Box
like
that
that.
provides unlimited high-speed internet connection
Okay,
for up to
you need to
32
start giving us
devices
some like
with 240
good
megabyte free
beginning. No,
data. With
us
Smart Too.
personally.
Visit
Give
any
us
Airtel
good
store now
launch
or send an
pads.
email
Let
to
us,
Airport conditions.
yeah.
smartbox@airtel.com.
Think of us as Luddites. We're
Smartphone network.
nothing.
We are your
All right,
music
we're back
station.
in. I'm gonna turn this thing down.
All right, welcome back. It is still Business Hub on Smooth 98.1 FM, and we've been talking with Okwemi Emmanuel, the CEO and founder of Tribark Limited, and we've been talking about the importance of software to SMEs, and it's been a great conversation so far. And we're going to jump right back in. Now, Okwemi, we spoke earlier about how a lot of Nigerians are now tech bros and what was it, Texas here, and so on and so forth. A lot of Nigerians are in the tech space now, which is a good thing. So, but how would you assess the skill level of software developers in Nigeria?
Yeah, thanks, Hayo. So right now, it's way better than what it used to be like 5 years ago, right? So right now, a lot of great guys are coming out there, especially with the coming in of Andela and some other foreign brands that really kind of bumped up the quality of developers we had, right? So right
Okay.
now, before now, a lot of corporates wants to do their software, build their software with Indians, with Mexicans, and US, and all of that. But right now, we are actually having people are gaining more confidence in Nigerian developers, and they're bringing it home. Personally, I've had to rescue like 5 projects in the last 2 years from Indians. Well messed up projects, and we had to rebuild literally. So what I'm saying is that the quality of software developers right now has greatly improved, like greatly improved. And right now, from the Business Insider Africa, the report they did 2021 about the number of developers we had in Nigeria as 2021 is about 120,000 very solid developers that they could recognize, yes. And this is 2023, so I'm sure that number should have crossed 200,000 developers right now.
Wow. Okay then.
That's major.
Yeah.
Okay, now you mentioned that corporates tend to hire like foreign
Yes.
developers, Mexicans, Indians, and so on and so forth. But are enough Nigerian software developers being hired to build and maintain apps and carry out other tasks, or are foreign software developers still actually dominating that space?
So because we don't have enough statistics in Nigeria, I can't really
We're
say.
back to that.
Okay, I mean, I'm not gonna be a troll here, but where's the coding for that? Okay, I mean, I'm looking at you.
So we don't really have very accurate statistics, but I can say roughly that we don't have foreigners dominating anymore. We don't really, because we now have a lot of tech startups. We now have a lot of I don't want to keep mentioning brand names because we're on here, but we have a lot of companies that are actually hiring locals now that they are doing very well. In fact, they've built unicorns, literally unicorns.
Are they finding the locals to hire though?
Yeah, so it's a mix, right? So a bit of locals, a bit of foreign, and all of that. Yeah, so local talent, foreign talent, just a mix, just to balance out
Because I
the
know everybody
difference.
has
Yeah.
been lamenting in the news and in general conversation about how
Yes,
local talent is
and then
moving elsewhere.
yes, that's also another issue, the brain drain, right? So that's also there. That's also is a proof that if they can move elsewhere,
Oh
right,
yeah,
it means they are good,
yeah.
because that means the foreign companies now can hire them and pay them well, even more, way more than what an corporate, local corporates can actually afford, right?
Mm.
So that means that the fact that a lot of developers that can now relocate to outside the country, it means that we have a lot of good talents locally.
Oh,
Mm.
okay. So Gilbert Musa from Festac says, regarding software development in the tech world, what are the security features in place to prevent hacking and falling victim to fraud online? For example, people use Facebook to defraud people, like ask for monetary assistance after hacking someone's accounts. This is also common with WhatsApp applications or software. Gilbert Musa says.
Okay, thank you, Gilbert, for asking that question. So it's very simple. So a lot of companies are coming up with different policies to ensure that security is improved.
Mm.
One of which is what people are not aware of those things, because as much as they try to enforce some of these security features, we don't still kind of implement them. So one thing that has been out there for like almost 4 years now is two-factor authentication, right? Meaning that for every app you are on, Facebook, Instagram, you can actually turn on two-factor authentication. Meaning that when you want to sign in, your password is not enough. So you don't just use your
Okay.
password. You need to probably get a second OTP sent to your phone number or to your email. So that you can. In fact, the most secured one now is what is called the Google Authenticator, right? So you have to install that app on your phone, and it's just to your device. Just that device can generate that code. So
And it
I
will
Mm.
call your device's name for you. Go to that particular phone, not the other one.
not the other
That
one.
phone.
So it generates unique codes based on that device. So if you
Okay.
turn on these features, right, on your account across any platform, it's going to help secure your account. So, and there are so many other features like that, but that's just like one of many.
All right. Okay. So question. I think we even asked it off here. Let's
Yes,
do
we
this.
did.
So, can a person learn software development from online courses alone, or is it better to enroll physically in a school?
Mm.
I'm
So
hoping the answer is online.
no.
Really?
Okay,
I
so
just crossed my fingers.
Because I feel like it kind of defeats the purpose of the tech revolution if we can't do it online.
Not really. So of
Okay.
course we know that we have a lot of infrastructure deficit in Nigeria, right? So you're trying to attend an online class, internet is breaking, you can't hear hello, hello, you saying what, and all of that. So that affects the pace and the ease of learning
Mm.
online right now in Nigeria. So maybe in other country where internet's a bit stable, yes, you can learn online. But right now, nah, you can't. So a lot of people are actually learning online. So I can't say it's a no. A lot of people are learning online, but most Nigerians, I run a training outfit, and we train for 6 months. It's a dedicated boot camp for developers and all of that, IT skill center. So people still prefer, when we throw out the word out there, people still prefer to come to the campus to learn than learn online, because they just believe that if I'm at home, there's a distraction of my child calling mommy, there is TV on, there is someone calling me on my phone. But if you're on campus and there's a lecturer in front of you, they believe that those distractions are kind of shut out. So that's what the reality is still that we're experiencing right now.
Okay, but speaking of going to a physical class or even learning online, if one so chooses, I mean, we have a lot of resources around. How does one actually, discern or choose? Okay, this is the right resource. This is a legit resource, not just anybody just, trying to get my money and just teach me what is not relevant. How can one decide which is the right and the wrong?
Okay, good. Great question. So you can, there, just like we have influencer marketing, right? So there are people who are kind of known as authority or experts in
Okay.
certain fields. So you can follow people who are experts in front-end development, who have a lot of YouTube videos, who their comments or their rating and ranking on YouTube is so high, they have a lot of views. So when you have 10 million views on a particular tutorial on YouTube, you should know that that's actually a really good tutorial, right? So you should go ahead and well, not necessarily
Or a
true.
really bad one.
really,
You
really
know?
bad one. Yeah. So, but you look at the quality of the person taking the course, right? Where is he working? Is he working with Google? Is he working with Facebook? Has he worked in X place or Y place and all of that? So look at the quality of the ranking of that person. Then you can use that to discern whether this is a good material or not.
All right, now February is
Just around the corner.
I wanted to say just around the corner, but January is a very long month right now. But with February come the elections. So, what do you think about this? Imagine this: Nigerians one day voting online on our mobile phones, and everything being secure. Is that possible?
It's
Can that
very
happen?
possible.
Can it
Yeah.
happen soon?
It can happen soon, but I
Okay.
think it's more of a political will to implement that. I don't think it's more of a knowledge or skill limitation right now, actually, because really it doesn't take anything to build a voting application. Really, it can be developed in 3 days in under an hackathon
3
environment. Three
days?
days. If you spin up an hackathon and say, guys, come together, just 10, 20 developers in Nigeria, good guys, come together under the same roof for 3 days. They will build you a very solid voting app that is very secure, and you can use it to
Oh,
vote
wow.
in Nigeria right now.
Okay. We don't have too much. We've got a few minutes left. So one thing I want to ask about is we've already talked about Chat GPT just a little bit, but I wanted to ask, what do you make of artificial intelligence software like Chat GPT? Are human jobs in software development at risk before we decide to pivot into our new
Okay.
careers?
Okay, so don't be afraid just yet. It won't take your job just it won't take your job, just yet. It's not there yet, like we said earlier. It's not there yet. But GPT-4 is about, coming out, and which is very, very much advanced than GPT-3.
Ooh.
So it's, right now they are training it with billions and billions of data sets, and how they've opened it up to the world, and we are part of the people actually training, the system right now. So coming to the question, how would that affect people's job? Yes, like I said, just the way internet affected people's job way back, right? This is gonna, we don't even know how far, the extent, people are not aware the extent to which this is going to change the world. Like, this is not like the invention of a plane or a car. No, this is way bigger, because
Wow.
Boston Dynamics is working on the artificial limbs. Another company is working on San Francisco company is working on the face, a robotic face that looks like human. So all the components that makes the sentient robots actually real, what you see in movies, is actually all the components are
iRobots
ready.
comes to mind.
iRobot comes to
Terminator,
mind.
humans,
Yeah.
it's all coming true.
Everything you need to make that a reality is available. It's just a matter of 3 to 5 years. I'm telling you. So be ready for that. But so coming to taking your job, so it's not going to take the job. So what I tell people is, the experts who can leverage will only leverage to scale, right? So what you should be doing, instead of getting scared that's going to take the jobs, what you should do is learn it, play along, leverage, and use it to improve. So if you're going to write, you're a content writer, for example, you're supposed to write. You're working on Fiverr, you're making maybe $50 per blog post that you write for your clients. If you're supposed to deliver one blog post per day and you make $50 with ChatGPT 3 now, you can spin up 10 blog posts. In fact, you can actually spin up more blog posts per minute.
Per minute?
Do you understand? So just say,
Okay.
what's the hottest discussion on Google or on human psychology today? ChatGPT will spit it out. Give me the outlines of these topics. It will list out the outlines. Develop the outlines and give me the content. It's going to give you the content. You copy that, you take it to Fiverr, you
What is
deliver,
going
Okay,
on?
I-
you make
Shopper,
$50
what's
and you
happening?
move on.
you haven't heard the wonders of ChatGPT.
Yeah. So you
My
can
eyes
make
are
more
open.
The
money.
future is
That's
here,
the future,
people.
really.
Yeah.
All right, really quickly, Okwebe. Looking at how Nigeria and Africa in general have come thus far in the tech space, what's your outlook for software development in Nigeria and in Africa over the next few years? Really quickly.
Yeah, so quickly, I'm going to say that it's very bright. Everybody should learn coding. I'm advising young mothers, parents, make sure your kids, if your child's school is not teaching coding right now, I think you should probably go there and advise them to start.
Mm.
Right? Because the future is that whether you're a doctor, you're a lawyer, you're an engineer, whatever career path you take, you're a journalist, you're a presenter, anything you do, you need to know a bit of coding. That's the future.
Oh, wow. All right.
All right, the future is here.
That's
Wow.
one of those things.
Okay, Emmanuel, thank you so much. It's been an eye-opening conversation. Where can people find you, by the way?
Tribe Arc, at Tribe Arc across all social media channels: Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, at Tribe Arc. Tribe Arc spells TRIBEARC.
the traditional spelling, people. No Y's in there. Thank you very much. All right. It's been really, really eye-opening. Really enjoyed this conversation. And if you tuned in later, you just want to catch the replay, we are offering it up for free up on youtube.com/smooth981 FM Lagos. Go over there and catch the replay and keep it tuned right here to the Smooth Drive. We've got so much more coming up for you. Great music all the way up until 7 p.m. when we bring you Total Football.
For everything
Thank you so much for coming in and opening our eyes.
tools and
Yeah.
for a successful
Oh, wow.
So this chat GPT thing,
Yeah.
I'm ashamed